Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Troll.
(1973 to 1976). Welcome back, baseball fans. The 1973-76 Carryover League. We are back in the National League today in the postseason tournament second round elimination action. We got a game today between the Atlanta Braves and the St. Louis Cardinals. We need to go right to the schedule so we can sort some things out for you. Give you an explanation of where we're at. Last series, the Twins took care of the Angels. And so we're back in the National League. And we got an interesting situation in the National League. If you've been following these elimination videos recently, of these 8 teams, the 4 division leaders are safe. 4 teams have been eliminated. That leaves 8 teams in the National League. 1, 2, 3 have already been eliminated in just 2 series, which creates this unique opportunity here where one of the teams that loses these 2 series can continue on even though they lose the series. That would include either the Cardinals, the Braves, the Mets, or the Pirates. And why? Because they're all playing good baseball and they're playing each other. That's the way it goes. The teams who are really playing lousy baseball are gone. They sink to the bottom, like taking the elevator down to the basement. And these teams are rising, all of them. And we also have to follow the math by saving the best for last. In this case, in the net records, you have the Mets and Pirates are 9 over 500. Mostly the Pirates, +7. They seem extremely safe. Mets a couple over, Braves 4 over, Cardinals a game over. Here's how the math works. The team who finishes their head-to-head series with the worst record is gone, joining those other 3 teams. Now, digging deeper, let's look at the team with the biggest odds, the Mets. The Mets are 2.5 behind the Pirates, which means they'd have to beat the Pirates 4 games to 1. So let's play out the doomsday scenario for the Mets. The Mets would lose 2 straight. As soon as the Pirates win 2 games, the series is over. If the Mets lose 2 straight, they'd be sitting at 500. And that's the worst the Mets can do. Follow that? The worst they can do is 500. Pirates can't go anywhere near 500. So that's the waterline, that's the bar that both of these teams have to reach, get above 500. How can it happen? Well, St. Louis and Atlanta. St. Louis is a game and a half back. Math suggests that winning just best of 5, 3 games to 2, they'd still need a Game 6 tiebreaker to the Cardinals. They'd have to win that series 4-2. Minute the Braves win 3 games, that series is over. For the Cardinals to stay at 1-1, they'd have to win the series 4-2 or split 6 games. If they split 6 games with the Braves, they're still +1 and they have hope. They simply have hope that the Mets do lose 2 straight to the Pirates. There's also a scenario that if the Cardinals actually lose the series 3 games to 2 to the Braves, they'd be at 500. And then there could be a tiebreaker if the Mets are also at 500 to decide which one of these 2 teams continues into the next round of the tournament. It all could be academic. Let's take a look at what has transpired. Game 1 in Atlanta, and if you've been following, the Braves have been on a roll. Last time we saw the Braves, they took 5 of 7 from Philadelphia, actually lost the last 2. So they're slightly cold at the end, but overall 5 of 7. Game 1, Bob Forsch, Phil Niekro in this one. Low-scoring affair. You get doubles in the second by Reggie Smith and Joe Torre, 1-zip. Braves answer in the 5th. Single by Marty Perez. Forsch makes an error, leading to An RBI single by Aaron, and a pass ball makes it 2-1. They add a run in the 6th on Dusty Baker's single. Braves are putting men on all game, and it's just 3-1 at this point. They literally have stranded 9, and they've gone through their lineup one more time than the Cardinals, but it's just a 3-1 game. It goes into the 8th. Bob Forsch is finally chased after a Ralph Guard triple and a Dusty Baker sac fly. It doesn't matter because the Cardinals just can't get anything done against Phil Niekro. Tom House pitches a scoreless 9th to get the save. Braves win 4-1. They are rolling. They've won 6 of 8. Let's go to Game 2 in Hotlanta. Game 2 in Hotlanta. John Curtis for the Cardinals versus Bill Grief. And in this one, John Curtis is not particularly sharp today, unfortunately, and that will be problematic. We think, going into this, that it would work out because we think the Braves are better against righties and lefties. It just doesn't work out that way. In this one, in the 2nd inning, the Braves catch everything. Aaron single, Johnson single, Darrell Evans double, Vic Correll, nice little acquisition. He's having a really nice year. RBI single, Dusty Baker RBI single, there's 4. Cardinals get an RBI ground up by McBride to make it 4-1. Curtis struggles with walks in the 3rd inning, an error by Ken Reitz, so 1-23 third baseman. That hurts. And it is 6-1. And Bill Grief's the starter for the Cardinals. He is the number 4 starter. This is the vulnerable starter the Braves have that the Cardinals should be exploiting. They take the role of the Braves in Game 1, leaving a bunch of men on base. The Braves survive with a victory. The Cardinals not as lucky. They strand 2 here, 2 there, 2 there, and 2 there. Finally chasing Grief in the 7th. But Atlanta goes to Mike Beard and Ron Schuler to close out a 7-2 victory. Seemingly in control are your Atlanta Braves off a Cardinal team that's in the wrong place at the wrong time. They just have a hot Braves team to deal with. Both of these teams were sort of on the outside looking in. And somehow the Braves found a way to get inside the house. They are no longer on the outside looking in. And the poor little Cardinals are under 500. And now they have a nice long struggle ahead of them. Let's look at standings here. The National League standings. The Cardinals are a game under 500. And next time they lose, their season's over. Or the series is over. And then see, the Mets are +2. So the Cardinals need to get to 18-18, 19-18. That would only tie the series. 20-18 or 20-20 if they lose the series. But it could very well be that the Mets and Pirates will play a series just for who's better than who, with both advancing. That's where the math is presently looking. But look at this Atlanta team. This is the other story. See this big round 0? That means first place. I know it's not up here. It used to be, but these guys have fallen apart. The Phillies have swept by the Reds, lost 5-7 to Hotlanta. And now the Phillies, oops, that's good snail on that one. Yeah, that's gone. Presently, the Braves are a half game ahead of the Phillies in the East. That's how things have changed in the postseason tournament. It can happen. And even in the unlikeliest of places. Remember, the Braves were 5 back. And they did it. They chased somebody down. Meanwhile, in the American League, look at all the teams who are always within a game or two. See all the 0s and 1s and the 2s? I mean, it hasn't happened outright in the American League. I guess the White Sox chased the Twins down, but it wasn't a big deficit, you know. Orioles and Tigers have stayed where they're at. Oakland hasn't gone anywhere. But yeah, we've had some chasing down. Diamondbacks sort of chased the Dodgers down by beating them 5-6, but then the Giants were fading as well. And the funny part about all of this chasing down goes that Braves have a chance not only to be out of the playoffs altogether, get into the playoffs, now they could possibly get a bye out of all this, believe it or not. Look at it, they're +6, right? Let's say they win the East, and they continue to roll and the Phillies continue to fall. They could actually win the East, And these two teams might not get any better. I mean, they're +6. You'd think one of them would have a better record than the Braves. They're all 6 over 500 presently, but could that would be a story for the season, or at least a postseason tournament. How one team, the Atlanta Braves, started this as the 9th. I guess they were the 7th, 8th. The Mets and Cardinals, probably the 7th or 8th best team in the National League, and could ascend all the way to the 2nd best team in the National League. That is a wild story. Braves have been in the NLCS before and failed, so we do have some history. Braves have had the top seed in the National League previously and were one and done. So there is history with Atlanta, because you got to remember that Atlanta has this incredible 73 home run hitters and the incredible 74 pitching staff combined on one team. That's what you're getting. And so with that, we shift our focus now to St. Louis for the Game 3. Braves, Cardinals. Cardinals fans coming out in droves because of the pitching matchup. For the Braves, they will send Buzz Capra out there. His brilliant 74. 16-game winner, 2.28 ERA, 217 innings. Dominates right-handed batters. Cardinals have a couple switch hitters on their team. That should help. Cardinals will send the legend when they need him most. Bob Gibson. His 1973. Arguably his last great card. And then after that, he has a couple more years where he starts to look normal as he's around the age of 40 or so. 12-10, 277 ERA, and 195 innings in 1973. They need him. Cardinals need Bob Gibson to keep their hopes alive here in St. Louis. Let's get started from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Leading off for the Braves, it's Ralph Garr. 37, single 1 to 6, gets it. A stealer. +1 arm Simmons, he's taking off. The Braves are going to be aggressive. They want to punch this out. Braves have lofty ambitions suddenly. They're thinking of a bye and a division, so they're going to be aggressive, and they want a 3-game sweep. Garr steals second base. It's Dusty Baker. 48 strikes out. Frank Tepedino. 46, single on a 5, can't get it. And Hank Aaron, your MVP of the National League. 42, rolls to the mound. Bottom of the first, it's Lou Brock. 64, homer, 1 to 5. Double is a 2-base hit. A lefty, taking advantage of the Capra card. Now you got Tommy Harper. 1-4, rolls to short. Bake McBride, 66 on the Capra card again. Base hit to left field. Here comes Brock, rounding third. He should score. +1 arm. Yeah, he will. 18 runner. Barely, but he scores. Reggie Smith, 311. 4-6-3 double play to win the inning. But it's 1-0. Davey Johnson, 511, is a walk. Darrell Evans, 1-8. Another walk. Rico Cardi, 5'10". Catcher's X. Simmons, a 3'8" catcher. Trying to get out of the pass ball. He does. That's a foul out. No pass ball. So the runners stay in double play situation for Johnny Oates. 57, short X. Could be the double play. It's Sizemore. He's a 4-27, though it's short. It's a ground ball C. Second and third for Marty Perez. 1-8, homer 1 to 6. And when we look up, it is gone. Let's take a look at the Marty Perez card. Oh my goodness, folks. Oh my, what a moment. If you're wondering, I'm sure you are, in 1975, Marty Perez at 275, be the highest average of his career. But he had just 2 home runs in 498 plate appearances, and this is one of them at a critical moment for the Cardinals. Oh my goodness, it is homer 1 to 6 fly ball. He doesn't have power. Marty Perez, 3-run dinger, 3-1 Braves. Ooh, that hurts. With 2 outs. Tell you, the Braves, you know, it's scary right now. Ralph Garr, 56, double 1 to 9 is a base hit. He will steal with 2 outs. He is safe. The T rating of is a 4, and he rolled a 5, so he's at second for Dusty Baker. 33 is hit by the pitch. Gibson, a little erratic here, a little angry probably. Hits Baker. First and second, 2 outs for Tepedino. 65 flies to center. 3-1 game. Bottom of 2, it's Simba. Ted Simmons. 1-6, triple 1-2, double. Joe Torre 1-7's a K. Mike Phillips, 39. Base hit to right field. Simmons will hold at third, down a couple. Mike Tyson. 6-11, short X, shortstop. Now Perez a 4-21. You gotta take advantage of this. Well, it's a ground ball B, so you get a fielder's choice run scores. Runner at first, 2 outs, 3-2 game. Ted Sizemore. And he grounds to short. Top of the third, Hank Aaron, 4-12. Roller to the mound. Davey Johnson, 34. It's a strikeout. Darrell Evans, 3-10. Is a fly ball to center. Bottom of the third. Lou Brock. 4-10 off Capra. Pops the third. Tommy Harper, 68. That's the nowhere land. No man's land. The 6th column of Buzz Capra does not have a hit in it. Just a walk on 5. That's a strikeout. Dominating card. Bate McBride, 1-9's a base hit. Do you steal with 2 outs here to jumpstart this team with Reggie Smith up? I hate Reggie Smith to be taken out of an RBI situation. No, he'll stay at first for Reggie Smith. 2-6 is a base hit to center field. McBride will go coast to coast, and with 2 outs, it's Simmons. 46 is a fly ball to right field. Couldn't take advantage of that. It's still 3-2 in the 4th. Rico Cardi, 55. Double 1-12. It's a single. Johnny Oates, 64 off Gibson is catcher's X. Again, it's Simmons. Trying to get out of the... This time it is a pass ball. Runner at second for Marty Perez. 1-4 flies to left, and with 2 outs. Ralph Garr, 47 is a strikeout. Wow, a Marty Perez homer in a 3-2 game is the difference. Joe Torre, 38 single. Mike Phillips, 3-6, first. Mike Tyson, 2-4, center. I'm sorry, I forgot to check that first. It was first day, was it not? Yeah, it was. Oh my goodness. That was a 3-6-3 double play. And Mike Tyson flies out. That is a shame. We go to the 5th. It's Dusty Baker. 57's a K. Tepedino, 2-6, a single. Hank Aaron, 46 is a walk. Davey Johnson, 1-7's a walk. The bases are loaded for Gibson in the 5th, and it's Darrell Evans. 1-11's a 6-4-3 double play. Bob Gibson gets out of the 5th inning. Minimal damage. Just a 3-2 game on a fluke home run for the Cardinals here in the 5th. Bottom half. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
This has been a fun season for the St. Louis Cardinals, and they don't want it to end. They were the worst team in the National League a year ago. As a decent team, but just in a division that got pummeled by the Cubs, the Reds, and the Pirates. This year, they've battled all the way back to be slightly above 500. The Cubs have been the sacrificial team in that division. Cardinals played the Pirates and Reds reasonably well. But the Braves have, they got a lot of work to do, and it starts right now in the bottom of the 5th. Number 9 hitter, Ted Sizemore. 47 is a K. Back up top to Lou Brock. 46 flies to right. And with 2 outs, it's Tommy Harper. 67, that's nowhere land. Got another K. Off the Capra card, Buzz Capra. So we have, just to count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lefties. There are some teams who have 6. Most teams have at least 3, if you're wondering, when we build our rosters. 3 left-handed bats, between 3 and 6 left-handed bats. There literally is not any team that has just 12 right-handed hitters or 9 left-handed hitters. There's nothing ever that imbalanced. And so if you have a guy like Capra, he can be a serious weapon against right-handed heavy teams. Top of the 6th. It's Rico Carty. 310 is a walk. Johnny Oates. 210. Let's take a look at Johnny Oates. We are having power at the bottom of this lineup. Johnny Oates in 1975 at 282. In 310 at-bats, he had 1 home run for the Phillies. 210, homer 1 to 5. He can't get that 1 home run. It's a double. That would have been crazy to get 5 runs off of guys who combined for 3 home runs in their entire season. That's a double. Carty stays at third. Second and third. Big moment here for Gibson. He squelched the threat in the 5th. Needs to do it again here. Second and third. No one out. Do you bring it up? Oh, boy. Champion. Yeah, let's bring it up. Marty Perez. 48 strikeout. All right, now more reason to bring it up with 1 out. I prefer to do it with 1, not none, but we did it. We're going to do it both times. Moreover, Ralph Gar's an A-bunter anyway. You got to bring it up. 1-7, Ralph Gar. There's not a lot you can do. Will you intentionally walk him? Let's take a look and face Baker, Aaron, Johnson, and Evans, all guys with 40 home runs with the bases loaded. This is the Ralph Gar batting title card of 1974. 353 average, 17 triples. Against lefties, at 35%, he's got triple 1 on 6, which means all or most of those triples came against righties, such as triple automatic on 7 and triple 1 to 7 on 8. That's how you get 17 triples, folks. Ralph Gar 1-7 cleans the bases with a triple, and it's 5-2. Trouble for the Cardinals. Infield's going to come up. You can't let Gar score as well. Dusty Baker. 46 is a walk. Gibson clearly in trouble throughout the whole game. Not a 3-up and 3-down inning. Infield up for Frank Tepedino. Baker also has speed. Tepedino 2-8 is a ground ball to short. That will keep the runner from third from scoring. Baker goes to second with 2 outs, and you got the MVP Hank Aaron with a base open. Do you walk the 40 home run hitter to face the 43 home run hitter, who are both right-handed? It's crazy. That's what it is. So he's going to deal with Hank. Hall of Famer v. Hall of Famer. Here we go. 55 off the Gibson card. Sorry, Bob. It's double 1 at 12. It's on you. That's a double. That's heartbreaking. That scores them both. As Baker advances on a ground ball. And now it is 7-2. And the fans in Busch Stadium see what's going on right now. They are in the wrong place at the wrong time, on the wrong side of a 7-2 score. Davey Johnson grounds to short. 7-2 Braves. There's been little resistance to stop the Atlanta Braves recently in the National League. There is a scenario where the Braves might not even have to play in the 3rd round of this tournament. Matter of fact, if they win this game, the Phillies would, because the first place teams don't play in the 3rd round of the tournament. Doesn't mean they finish in first place. Anyway, thinking way too far ahead. Cardinals need that big rally, and they're going to have to do it against the tough Capra. Good news is we have 3 straight lefties coming up. 4 out of 5 lefties. This is the inning right now. If you're Cardinal fans, you've got to get it jump-started at this moment. Big McBride. 38 is a hit by pitch. That'll work. He gets on. Put some pressure there. Has to be held on base. You get the plus on the Reggie Smith card now. Here's the pitch to Reggie. 45 off Capra is a fly to left. Simba, Ted Simmons. 37 is a fly to right. And with 2 outs, it's Joe Torre. 110 is a fly ball to left. We'll go to the 7th. It's Gibson. We're not taking him out. You go out there. You want to take Gibson out? You walk out of the mound. I ain't walking out there. Gibson's not going anywhere. So, Darrell Evans. 6'11", first X. Torrey's a 2E15. And he makes the play. Rico Suave. 46 is a walk. Pinch running for Rico Carty will be Eddie Leone, who will also take over at second base in the bottom half of the inning, and Eddie Leone will take over at shortstop. And Marty Perez will take over at second base. Johnny Oates, 39. That's a 6-4-3 double play. They could also bring Cabell in if they felt like it. Oh, they'll do that too. Cabell will come in for Tepedino. And now Atlanta has all their defense in, looking for a 3-game sweep. They have Tom House in their pen, by the way. I think he's a relief 4. No, he's a relief 3. So yeah, he could just finish the game with his 1.92 ERA. So Atlanta is in really fantastic shape at this present time. Cardinals need a miracle here. Stretch time in St. Louis. We are enjoying, well, we've just kissed our baby. Or just kissed my baby, as the song would say. We're getting funkier all the time. The complete Josie reprise and one recordings of the meters, the funky meters. Selected here for the Cardinal games. Sophisticated Sissy. Sissy's Trail, of course, is on here. I think Wichita Lineman's on this one as well. That's a fun one. Their version. We have Just Kiss My Baby. Chicken Strut's on here. Let's throw down the Wichita Lineman if we can. Yeah, let's throw this one down. See if the Wichita Lineman can rally these Cardinals here. In the bottom of the 7th of what seems like a dire situation. You know what I mean? It seems dire, but can they get out of this? We have seen teams rally, so let's see what happens here. Mike Phillips. 64 off Capra, homer 1 of 5. Gone. That's gone, folks. Phillips does power. 7 of 3. Mike Tyson. 2-7 triple. Here come the cards. Literally and figuratively as I turn cards in my hand. Ted Sizemore. 57's a K. Gotta do damage with the lefties Brock and McBride coming up. Lou Brock. 1-7, let's take a look at the Hall of Famer Lou Brock. 118 stolen bases and 74 with a 3.06 average. Double 1 to 4. That is a base hit, and it is 7 to 4. Is this Tom House time? The weapon the Cardinals have are those switch hitters. Smith and Simmons back to back. What are you going to do? Bring in a lefty? Bring in a righty? You have no advantage. That's something the Cardinals can utilize. You do have Big McBride coming up soon, who's not good against lefties. Do we pull the plug on Capra, realizing the stakes and realizing that the Cardinals aren't a great matchup for him with all the lefties? I think we're going to do it. Too much on the line for the Braves. He is being pulled. 6 1/3 here in St. Louis. The fans are in a frenzy as they are within a couple batters from the tying run. Mike Beard will come out of the Atlanta pen first. Beard in 75 for the Braves. A 3.21 ERA in 70 innings. He will deal with Tommy Harper with a runner at first. Runner's being held on. I don't think Brock, as tempting as it is to steal a base, I don't think he wants to get thrown out of this inning. Here's your pitch to Tommy Harper. 1-9 Tommy Harper. Let's take a look at his card as the Cardinals have it cranked up here in the 7th. He was part of we made him part of the John Curtis and Rick Wise and Reggie Smith trade with Boston and the Cardinals. 281 average, 17 homers and 73, but 54 stolen bases, which means him and Lou Brock get 180 or 170 some stolen bases together, folks. 1-9, double 111. That is a single, and there are runners on the corners for Big McBride. This is the leverage batter for Beard. McBride won't go anywhere. Runners on the corners being held. 1 out. The pitch to Big McBride. 6-11 off Beard is first X. This is Cabell. 3E20 first baseman. It's an error, and the Cardinals keep it going here. In the 7th inning, it is now 7-5. And now you got the switch hitters right where you want them, right in the crosshairs. What do you do? I guess you got to live with Beard. Yeah, we're going to live with Mike Beard here. And it's Reggie Smith, the lead run, or the tie run. No, the lead run. In a 7-5 game, here's the pitch to Reggie Smith. with 1 out. 110 versus the lefty. We'll take a look at Rudy Smith as the Cardinals have erupted here. 73. Boston Red Sox card. They simply consummated the trades between the Cardinals and Red Sox sooner than they needed to. Worked out for both teams. You get a 21 homer, 303 average for Reggie Smith. Oddly enough, he has almost the same stats in 74 for the Cardinals. 110's a base hit to center field. Harper will not get thrown out. Bases are loaded. Baker's got a -3 arm in center, another reason not to be thrown out. And it's Ted Simmons playing back in a 7-5 game. Here's your pitch to Ted Simmons. Another 110. Let's take a look at Simba's card. Ted Simmons, Simba in 1975, the best average of his career. 332, 18 home runs. 110's a single to center. Here comes Bake McBride taking on the Dusty Baker arm to tie the game. It's going to be close. He should be safe, though. McBride can fly. He's a 17. He'll be safe against the -3 arm. The Cardinals have done it here in the 7th. Reggie Smith goes to third, and Beard blows it up. It's 7-7. Still just 1 out. The infield comes up for Joe Torre. 1-9. Let's take a look at Joe Torre. The Cardinals are ripping the Braves to shreds in the 7th inning. Joe Torre, 282 and 74, 11 home runs. Oddly enough, I think Torre, the first baseman, the shortstop Sizemore will be gone next year, replaced by Keith Hernandez and Gary Templeton. But for now, Torre, before he goes to the Mets, has a nice year with the Cardinals. Double 1 to 5. That's a RBI single. It is now 8-7. You just sit and spin if you're Mike Beard. There's nothing you can do for Atlanta. You got runners in the corners. The lefty Mike Phillips will stay in the game now that they have a lead, and he's not that bad against lefties. Infield up with 1 out for Mike Phillips. 2-8's a strikeout. And with 2 outs, Mike Tyson. 54 pops to first to end the frame. My goodness, we have had some wonderful rally time music in the past, but this might be an all-time high. The groove of the meters got the Cardinals rolling here in the 7th inning. My goodness, folks. What an inning for the Cardinals. 5 runs down with 9 outs to end their season. They explode and batter Buzz Capra and Mike Beard, 2 really good pitchers. And frankly, between House and Beard, you kind of still wanted to get Devine and House if in there, so there's not much difference in who you brought in. Plus, the Cardinals hit everything you can hit on their own card. All that to get a 1-run lead. Now, what do you do with Gibson? He can get the win. He could just stay in the dugout and be the winning pitcher. He was on the hook for a nasty loss, a 7-2 loss. And now he has a possible victory if he just sits down and turns it over to Al Hrabowski, who hasn't pitched in the series. I think that's the wise thing to do here. The Braves have shown that they have him figured out. Gibson's put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, too many. Too many on base. Al Hrabowski. They're going to pull. They've done this many times. The 2-inning save for Al Hrabowski, who went to the All-Star game, the Fireman of the Year of the National League. His 1975 card, the best of his career. 13-3, a .167 ERA in 97 innings. Asked to get 6 outs of this electric Atlanta offense. No changes for the Cardinals, except possibly they should bring Ken Reitz in to play third base for one of these guys. Sizemore will leave, and Phillips will go to short, which is why why Phillips stayed in that inning, knowing he'd be taking over at short. Boy, they really could use Gary Templeton next year. All right, Reitz will lead off in the bottom of the inning. Top of the 8th. Bottom of the lineup. On the bench for the Braves, it's just Vic Carrell. So it'll be Marty Perez, and you got to look at this 3-run homer, giving almost half the offense to the Braves at this point. Marty Perez. 2 sevens a pop to third. Ralph Garr. 410, center X. It's McBride, a 2-10 in center field, makes the catch. The fans are going nuts here in Cardinal Land, by the way. This has been a great story all year. They had to watch on TV, watch their team get humbled down in Atlanta. And the other thing to consider, too, is the streakiness of the Braves. Remember, they lost 4 straight to the Phillies, beat the Phillies 5 straight, then lost 2 to them, beat the Cardinals 2 straight, and now, could this lead to another Brave losing streak? The streaky Braves. Could it be? Dusty Baker. 4-4 off Rabowski. 1-1 base hit. And your tying run is Enos Cabell. 57's a strikeout. Bottom of the 8th inning. Beard. He'll be pulled. He's the pitcher of record. Adrian Devine will come in the 8th inning. Devine for the Braves in 76. 3.21 ERA in 73 innings. He will face the new third baseman, Ken Reitz. 45, flies to right. Back up top to Lou Brock. Now we can steal bases and do all that stuff now that we have a lead. Lou Brock, 2-9, grounds short. And with 2 outs, it's Tommy Harper. 3-10, flies to left. We'll go to the 9 for Rabowski. Fans are on their feet, delirious here. This was a disaster day, and they survived it. Remember, they don't necessarily have to win this series. They just need to maybe split it, even lose 3 games to 2, and they're still technically alive. And maybe it's the Mets who collapse. One of the 4 teams, Pirates, Cardinals, Mets, Braves, one of these teams is going to collapse, and we don't know who it's going to be presently. 9th inning, and all Al Rabowski has to do with a 1-run lead is deal with 40 home runs of Hank Aaron, 43 homers of Davey Johnson, and 41 homers of Darrell Evans. That's all. That's all for arguably the best closer in the National League. And the Cardinals repping the All-Star game. Here is Hank Aaron. 5-11 off the Rabowski card is pitcher X. Al, can you field? Of course you can. An E0. Let's add that to the resume of Al Rabowski, an E0 pitcher with a 75 card. Outstanding. Don't even roll those for home pitchers who are E0s. Davey Johnson. 2-5 grounds are short. The fans are screaming on their feet here. It's all up to Darrell Evans. Let's take a look at him. It seems like the only Brave who he didn't make our All-Star game. All 3 of those guys made the 73 All-Star game in Kansas City. Darrell had a down year in our league. Chance for him to tie this game. Here in the 9th. Here's the pitch. 1-8 is a ball 4. That keeps the game going. But it's going to be Eddie Leone, who was brought in for defense with a big lead earlier. And his .228 average. Nothing you can do if you're Atlanta. Well, you could bring Correll in to pinch hit. That kind of makes some sense, actually. Let's do that. Let's have Vic Correll pinch hit. Here's Vic Correll pinch hitting, the last switch the Braves can throw. Vic Correll was an Atlanta Brave in 1974, .238, but 4 homers and 202 at-bats, all of them against lefties at 42%. That's a nice home run chance. It's also the double on 2-8 could score Evans from first. Actually, it probably would with Bate McBride's +1 arm in center. Al Rabowski versus Vic Correll here in the 9th. Here is the pitch. 4-10 off Rabowski is center X. Bate McBride, really good. He's a 2-10 in center. He makes the grab to end the game, and the Cardinals did it. Can come back from 7-2. A nice comeback, and the story of their Cinderella story in the National League. Cardinals, who had such a disastrous season a year ago, odds still stacked against them, as they often are for Cinderella. Cinderella's never favored in anything, but the Cardinals refuse to go away in the National League, and they win 8-7. Gibson does get the win. Rabowski does get the save. It's Mike Beard who fails in the 7th. as the Cardinals collect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. There's also an error mixed in there for the Braves. So, after the break, we'll give you the results of Game 4, and then 5 and 6 if necessary. The teams will actually have a day off. So after the day off, it'll be Bob Forsch again for the Cardinals. And for the Braves, it'll be back to Niekro, then George Stone, and then Capra if there's a tie-break in Game 6. Niekro Forsch is on the docket. We'll give you the results of that, the box score of this one, and let you know the tiebreakers and so forth. So stand by. All right, folks, here's the box score of the game you just saw. The thrilling comeback by the Cardinals. 8-7 win. Gibson gets the win. Gave up the 7 runs on 8 hits. It was the 8 walks that really made things look even worse. But he stuck around long enough for Al Hrabowski to bail him out with a 2-inning save. Capra 6 1/3, 10 hits. Mike Beard was the failure there. 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 were earned. 8-7 final for the Cardinals. Can they even up the series in a Game 4? Let's take a look. After the day off, we go back to Game 1 starters Niekro and Bob Forsch. The Braves come out ticked. After blowing a 5-run lead in the 7th inning yesterday, they come out nasty in the 2nd inning. Davey Johnson single. Darrell Evans RBI triple, scores on a ground ball. Oates singles. Scores from second on a single. Johnny Oates is a 13 runner as a catcher. We never would have thought that. Scores on a Dusty Baker single. That's 3 runs. Then the monsters of the long ball in the 3rd. Hank Aaron and Davey Johnson at back-to-back solo shots. Hank's got the MVP. Hank Aaron. Who else? It's a 2-run shot in the 5th. The Cardinals have a nice 4th inning. A base-clearing 3-run triple by Mike Tyson. It's a 7-3 game going into the 7th. Remember, the Cardinals came back 7-2. In the 7th, a walk, fielder's choice, single, and then back-to-back singles by Simmons and Torre. They don't tie the game, but they make it 7-5. Braves get a run in the 8th. This time, Atlanta says, fool me once, not fooling me twice. Tom House comes in for the 2-inning save, relieving Niekro. He's up a single in the 8th, a walk, erased by a double play in the 9th. That is your series. Tom House, a nice little 2-inning save there. And Atlanta simply outlasts and overcomes the Cardinal rally. They win the series 3-1. And unfortunately for the Cardinals, this is the end of their season, as they will have a losing record. Let's take a peek. In this scenario a year ago, this is rather the synchronicity here. A year ago, Atlanta was in a situation against a different foe, and they won 3-1. Actually, where is that? It should be right here. 5-game elimination. This is a year ago. Atlanta had a nice little run there. They were playing Houston. They won 3-1 to get to a 500 record. And then Atlanta actually made it all the way to the playoffs and somehow ended up all the way into the league championship series before falling to the Reds 4 straight to finish with a modest 30-28 record. That's the run the Braves did a year ago. So they were just a 500 team who just caught fire as the playoffs began. They already got the fire. They're kind of doing the same sort of thing presently. But they're doing it with a, here we are now. Here we are right now. It's 21-15, so they're 6 games better. Cardinals eliminated. Not only are they doing this now, let's take a look at the bigger picture. Here we are. So they will start this division in the first place. The Mets have the remotest chance, if they storm the Pirates and rip off like 4 straight or 5 straight wins, they could actually, the Mets, believe it or not, they still have a chance to be in first. The Phillies could fall all the way to 3rd, or stay in 1st, or stay in second, or get the, yeah. Still a lot of baseball left. Moreover, the Mets were watching this, and there is not a scenario where the Mets are eliminated when they play the Pirates. It turned into a friendly. Credit goes to the National League in general. The quality of teams in the National League. You have a team, a good team like the Mets, who have a bad record because they play good teams, But the good news is they don't have to go home once they play the Pirates. Let's go look at that as well. They have to compete with the Pirates and figure out who's better. The Mets still have to win 4-1 to overcome the Pirates. But again, if the Pirates do rip off the 2 straight wins, the Mets are at 500, which is just a single half game better than the Cardinals, which is why we eliminated the Cardinals. So right now we have +6 Atlanta, we have +6 San Francisco, +7 Pittsburgh, and +2 Mets potentially playing in the 3rd round, with the Phillies somehow potentially falling into that group, +5. So it's a pretty talented group of clubs in the National League, with the Mets being the 8th team, and some combination of Atlanta, San Francisco, and Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia, one of those teams joining them on the outside looking in by the time the playoffs start. Wow, my goodness, folks. But for the moment, let's break up. Your Atlanta Braves, still on a roll, lost 1 of 4 games. They've won 8 of 10? 8 of 11. They've won 8 of 11. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.